Hello, dear students. Welcome to I-Fal. My name is Teacher Nikki, and I am here to have another video lesson with you. So I am so excited to talk about a new topic for you today that will help you understand and construct better sentences using the English language. I know that these lessons will be very helpful for you to communicate using the English language that are grammatically correct and properly constructed, considering that we will be talking about some grammar topics. So I want you to concentrate on our lesson today, pay attention to our sample sentences, and please practice them very well even after the class. So let's go ahead and start our lesson. Let's go.
So for this lesson here, we will be talking about verb phrase or verb phrases. Now to understand that, what are verb phrases in grammar? A verb phrase is a group of words including the main verb and any other linking verbs or modifiers that act as a sentence's verb. Modifiers are words that can change, adapt, limit, expand upon, or help define a certain word in a sentence. So in the case of verb phrase, the modifiers are usually auxiliary verbs or helping verbs such as is, has, and are that work alongside with the main verb. Okay? So we have your helping verbs and your main verbs here. Now, in verb phrases, the main verb holds information about the event or activity that is being referred to. So that's why we call it main verb because it focuses on the activity or the action. And the auxiliary verbs add meaning by relating to the time or aspect of the phrase. Okay, normally it tells you about the time or the aspect when we have your helping verbs. Like, for example, my dad is cooking today. I have written a letter for you. I have been waiting all day. As you can see, we have helping verbs and our main verbs here. And definitely, as we use them differently, the time and the aspect of the sentence change. Okay? Now, here are four sentences containing examples of different types of verb phrases. So we have first the simple verb phrase, she sings beautifully in the choir. So we only have the main verb. Modal verb phrase, they can run a marathon in under 3 hours. Of course, from the word itself, modal verb phrase, we have the modal verb plus your main verb. Next one, progressive verb phrase. Okay, I am typing this message on my computer. So progressive, your be verb or your helping verb plus verb ing. Perfect verb phrase, he has eaten breakfast already this morning. So for your perfect tenses. Now, each of these sentences contains a verb phrase that conveys information about an action, including the tense, the mood, the aspect of the verb. So it's definitely important to consider those helping verbs plus your main verbs when we are referring to or trying to make sentences depending on their tense, mood, or aspect. Okay? Now, so there are different types of verb phrases that we have here. So the first one, we have verb phrases with only the main verb, which is the simple verb phrase. Okay? So when we hear the word phrase, we expect the inclusion of more than one word. However, this isn't always the case. Verb phrase can be a singular main verb on its own. Like for example, she hears the alarm. They both jumped. So in these examples, the verb phrase contains or consists of a main verb only. The verb can be in the present or the past. The first example is in the present, of course, and the second one is in the past. So normally, main verb or a simple verb phrase is only about having one, okay, main verb with it. All right. Next, auxiliary verb to be. Okay, we have your be verb plus your main verb. So when the main verb is being used in its ing form, it expresses a continuous aspect. The use of auxiliary verb will show whether the continuing action is in the past, present, or even in the future. The auxiliary verbs am, is, and are used before the main verb ing. In ing form creates the present continuous tense. We know about that. The auxiliary verbs was and were plus the verb ing form creates the past continuous tense. Now, the combination of auxiliary verbs will be used before the main verb ing form, okay, creates the future continuous tense. So nobody is listening. They were dancing. He will be visiting tomorrow. Okay? Now, we have the auxiliary verb have plus your main verb in its past participle form. So in this case, we have the have plus verb, main verb in past participle, which is in perfect tense. Okay? So we have this in our perfect tense or present perfect. They have relaxed all weekend. Nobody has tried the new flavor. She had started the project. So this is in past perfect tense as well. Have verbs, have auxiliary verb, and then your main verb. Okay, now we have the modal verb plus your main verb. We already talked about the modal verb, talking about possibility, probability, ability, permission, obligation. So we have examples of modal verbs: must, shall, will, should, would, can, could, may, and might, plus your main verb. Okay, and they can be used in different tenses depending on how you create your sentences with this. Next, so we have the auxiliary verb have been plus main verb, which expresses your present perfect continuous tense or your past perfect continuous tense. So when the auxiliary verb has or have is used, it creates the present perfect continuous aspect. When the auxiliary verb use had, so it's past perfect continuous, right? Nobody has been watching the show. She had been dancing. So these are just the examples here. Now, we have the auxiliary verb to be plus main verb, okay, in the past participle form, okay, which is actually your passive voice. The main expresses a passive voice. Okay, it's used to show that an action is happening to the subject of the sentence the object of the sentence rather than the subject performing the action. So, example, the dinner was served, the dishes were cleaned. So, this is another example of your verb phrase. Now, we also have your negative and interrogative verb phrases. Of course, from negative, we use not normally, okay? And then with the verb, usually ing, okay, I am not driving anywhere right now. The verb phrase, am driving, has been separated by interruptor not to make it a negative statement. Then, interrogative verb phrase is used in the question. So normally, we change the position of your words, starting with your helping verb and then subject and then your main verb. So the verb, has he performed well this season? So has been separated by the interrupter he, your subject, which helps to form an interrogative question. All right? And lastly, we have emphasized verb phrase. So the auxiliary verbs do or did can be used to add emphasis to a sentence, putting a stronger emphasis to your action. I enjoyed the party, or you can emphasize the verb phrase by saying I did enjoy the party. Okay? The first example only includes the main verbs, whereas the second sentence emphasizes the auxiliary verb did plus your main verb in its base form. Okay? So those are just examples of your verb phrases that we have to understand. All right?
So I hope you find our lesson today very helpful. So as I always say, the secret in making your communication skills in English better is constant practice. So I want you to please keep on practicing all the lessons that we've had in the past and even this present lesson. So I know that you can do it really well and you'll improve yourself eventually. So just keep believing in yourself and practice more, okay? Now, please stay tuned to our more lessons here in I-Fal, and please visit our website that I will flash on the next screen. I also encourage you to please subscribe to our classes because we have a lot of amazing teachers that will help you and guide you in improving your English skills. So once again, this is Teacher Nikki. So I'll just see you again on the next classes and video lessons that we're going to have. I know that we will have more amazing lessons in the future. So stay tuned And good luck, study harder, and I'll see you next time. Bye!